Woo-bin arrived at his hotel room with Min-soo. He handed her a fresh gown and told her to change so he could dry her clothes. Min-soo took the gown and headed to the bathroom while Woo-bin sat down waiting for her. As he waited, he went through his phone and looked at the wedding invitation he had received from Sunjin's family. He thought about how he truly understood Min-soo's feelings. After all, she was witnessing the man she loved marry another woman. Min-soo soon returned and sat beside him, thanking him for taking care of her. Woo-bin told her it was nothing and added that he would take her back home once the rain eased. Min-soo nodded, and as Woo-bin looked at her, he realized just how sad she was. He wished he could do something to make her feel better. Breaking the silence, Min-soo asked if he was going to the wedding the following day. Woo-bin nodded, not wanting to say it out loud and hurt her even more. With tears threatening to fall, Min-soo told him to wish Sunjin all the best. Woo-bin looked at her and took her hands, asking her to look him in the eyes. Slowly, Min-soo raised her head and met his gaze. Woo-bin told her that she was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. Not just beautiful, but kind and smart as well. He acknowledged that she was hurt and sad, and she had every right to feel that way. However, he assured her that any man would be lucky to have her, and in time, she would heal and forget about Sunjin. He told her that one day, she would find someone who was willing to fight and even die for her. Min-soo, looking at Woo-bin, told him that she didn't want to forget Sunjin, and that she still loved him. Upset by her stubbornness, Woo-bin stood up and asked if she was willing to love him even though he was marrying someone else. With tears in her eyes, Min-soo explained that she loved Sunjin deeply. She then asked Woo-bin if he had ever loved someone, saying that if he had, he would truly understand how she felt. Woo-bin stared at her, thinking about how he did love someone, and that someone was sitting right in front of him. However, he didn't want to tell her. Instead, he simply said that even if he didn't fully understand love, he knew that, eventually, people had to let go because things in life don't always work out the way they want. As he was about to continue, his phone rang. It was Min-soo's father asking if he had seen her. Woo-bin told him that he had found her, but that the rain was heavy, so he would bring her home once it slowed down. Min-soo's father told him not to worry and that he would come to get her instead. He asked Woo-bin to send him the location, which Woo-bin agreed to do. That same evening, Sunjin was at a bar drinking whiskey as usual. The bartender noticed him and commented that he was now a regular customer. Sunjin smiled and said he was glad to be bringing in business. The bartender laughed, noting that since Sunjin was back, it meant he hadn't solved his problem. Sunjin took a sip of his whiskey and admitted that he was getting married to a woman he did not love. Stunned, the bartender asked if he was really going to let the woman he loved go just like that. Sunjin explained that the plan was to get married and then divorce after a year. However, he wasn't sure if the woman he loved would still be waiting for him by then. The bartender admitted that it was a tricky situation, but if she truly waited, it would mean she really loved him. Sunjin nodded, saying he hoped she would. After finishing his drink, he paid and walked out of the bar. Back at the hotel, Woo-bin and Min-soo waited outside for her father. The moment he arrived, he rushed out of the car and ran to Min-soo, asking if she was okay and if anything had happened to her. Min-soo assured him that she was fine and that Woo-bin had taken care of her. Relieved, her father told her to wait in the car while he had a word with Woo-bin. As Min-soo got into the car, her father approached Woo-bin and thanked him for finding his daughter. Woo-bin told him there was no need for thanks. Min-soo was his good friend, and he had to help her. Moving closer, Min-soo's father asked what exactly was going on. He said he understood that she was heartbroken, but it seemed like there was more to it, as if she was deeply involved with the man she was seeing. Woo-bin admitted that it was serious. They had been engaged, and now the man was marrying someone else due to certain circumstances. Stunned, Min-soo's father asked if the man was a rich boy named Sunjin. He mentioned that Minsu's mood had drastically changed after seeing news of his wedding on TV. Woo-bin remained silent, not wanting to confirm anything, since Sunjin was his best friend. From Woo-bin's silence, Minsu's father guessed the truth, and angrily stated that if he ever came across Sunjin, he wouldn't let him go unpunished for what he had done to his daughter. Without another word, he walked away.